rate on that, where we take those cuts over the
3-year average?
Yeah, it's built in.
It is built in.
Yeah, so Brian and I actually talked about sharing with you examples of the revenue limit worksheet with the 200 in and out, and he in this created a side-by-side for us. But yeah, it's always, it'll always be based upon the 3-year average.
The increased low revenue ceiling provision is set to go up to $9,700 from $9,500. And then we have adjusted equalization aid ceilings and guarantees to 2.68% for the secondary ceiling, 8.71% for the secondary guarantee, and 4.44% for the tertiary guarantee. Those are numbers that we received from Baird. That 4.44% came to me like a month ago. It was basically the same figure that me and Scott were told when they went to a workshop in December. Increased reimbursement for eligible special education costs to 30%. Right now that's at 26%. We get about 26% of special ed aid revenue back on everything we spent the prior year.
From the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah. And that's an increase of about $106,000 based on what we were budgeted to spend this year. So that does help us a good deal. Right now, the 2019-2020 enrollment projections, which are attached, those figures have been used on the revenue limit worksheet, and also for per pupil aid amounts and open enrollment in revenue and open enrollment out costs. And then the note at the bottom there just kind of says what we'll continue to do. We'll continue to network with CISA 6, Baird, and at WASBO events, and keep up on what is going on with the legislative progress on the state budget. I know Scott met with that Mark Bourne recently.
Yep, right.
So there's contacts out there. And then we're going to continue to monitor open enrollment in and open enrollment out as best we can. It's a variable that can really change things right up until the first month of the school year. So the next page, this is an outlook of our enrollment projections. The column on the far left is our third Friday count in September, and then the middle column is second Friday in January. And then to the far right is our 2019-2020 projections. So that takes in seeing how many of the 4K kids will actually end up at Mayville Middle School, how many of the 8th graders that aren't in the Mayville School District may end up in 9th grade, and then obviously kicks out our graduating 12th grade class and bumps everybody up. So right now our final membership using these figures is at 1,023.6. Second Friday count had us at 1,048. And to the right of that last column, you can see the grades and kind of the ups and downs by grade level. I think we do keep an ongoing worksheet of open enrollments in and out and kids that leave. The building secretaries keep track of that. Janet keeps track of various things as well. So we'll continue to monitor those and update our revenue limit worksheet and all the costs and the revenues that are affected by kids coming and going.
So we'll do this. Before school's out, we'll do another last call for all of our current enrollment and go in and out, because everything's very fluid. You could just look at the change from what our FTE, our membership was in September compared to January. And so just a lot of fluctuation occurs, and just movement at each grade level, up and down. So in the meantime, we do look at our.
Can we build in summer school FTE into this?
That doesn't fit into here. It's a separate worksheet.
Okay.
And it's by seat time. And right now, we're budgeting that to be flat.
Yeah.
So we're not counting on that growing. Now, here's the deal, Joe. If we grow, we get less money. So you can recruit summer school FTE.
Yeah.
Sounds like a wonderful idea.
It sounds like it.
In the state of Wisconsin right now, with our flux that we're in, we actually lose money in that world. So I think what we'll do is we're going to calculate the number we need to hit in order to gain more money. It is like a major increase in students. So to get that through summer school would be not realistic. I like the idea, absolutely. But for the big picture, we want to increase our summer school, right? Of course we do. But we can't look at it for the immediate. It's got to be for the long haul. So like a one little boost in summer school, we get an extra, we'll say 2 students as far as the count goes.
Sure.
Right? That's awesome. Doesn't really result in it results in nothing actually as an impact in the beginning. And when we grew by like 15 students, we actually lost money. Yeah. So we're in one of those positions. This is the state formula. This is how it goes. And this is what people complain about. But in the meantime, when you are declining and they're giving you this average and declining enrollment exemptions, they're helping you out.
Okay,
You know, so the state of Wisconsin is helping us out.
I understand.
We didn't get an immediate impact when we dropped by 30 students. The impact was the impact of 10 students. So the next year it's another 10 you've got to account for. So really, I mean, school funding is tough. And I do understand as there are fewer students, you do have to have fewer dollars to go with it. And then you have to make your budget decisions, you know. I get it, totally. It's frustrating.
The last page really kind of breaks down that impact that I discussed. Putting the per pupil increase on the revenue limit worksheet versus categorical A. So that there's 6 different items of revenue that are affected by this. So 5 have no impact. So your aid certification, your state aid for exempt property, exempt computers, those are plugged in by DPI. And then your non-referendum debt and your referendum debt levy. So we're literally looking at general operations levy. So the top part that's up in the yellow, that has the $200 on the revenue limit worksheet. And when it is all totaled together, we would be levying $5,613,445, which is a 9.43 mill rate. And our per pupil revenue, at that 654, because they're not putting the 200 in there, gives us 689,970. So our total revenue between all those is 13,202,669. The portion in red shows if we were to add $200 for every student, literally $200 a kid, that per pupil amount goes up to $854. So your 689 turns into almost $901,000. The grand total of it all would be 13,336,000 as opposed to 13,202,000. So that bottom part shows the difference. The way it's suggested in the current budget on $200 on the revenue limit worksheet would actually add $77,312 of revenue. That's actually taxed revenue, or that's the levy, it's added to the levy. So it not only is costing us money by putting it on the revenue limit worksheet, it's also raising taxes. Up to 930, or 943 from 930. So the per pupil revenue of $211,000, we're actually getting $77,000. So by adding it to the revenue limit worksheet, it's costing us $133,000. So we're getting more revenue, but not as much as we could if they just handled it a little different way.
And vouchers ain't included on this yet.
No, that's a separate one entirely. Yeah.
But that goes on to the mill.
That goes on in the
The
middle.
voucher figure we have in there right now, we just carried over.
You did put one in?
It's 100.
Okay.
It's just not gonna be, it's not included in this. This is only related
It's
to
a
the.
separate levy, so that we did last year.
Yeah, so the vouchers went up from 62,000 to 162 this year. We've actually just kept it at 162.
So one of the things like we thought, so if anybody's out and about and they're talking to representatives at the state level, it's like, hey, this would be a really good resource to have in hand. Because for us, this is our budget story. So thank you so much for the $200 per pupil. The reality is, if it goes into the revenue limit, it's $200 added to the revenue limit. It's not per pupil. Literally, it's into a formula and it does what it does. Versus $200 per pupil in the form of categorical aid, that's what they've been doing for the last 3 years. That's straight dollars to us. It goes directly to the source. So
We're keeping our declining enrollment exemption, but losing the whole harmless.
that's what happened to us.
So there'll be more detail when we go into closed session on a couple other things, but the big ones were the effect of having the $200 on the revenue limit worksheet, and then we do get $106,000 roughly more for the proposed increase in special ed support.
So, in the state of Wisconsin, this was a couple of years ago, it was about 70% of the school districts were declining enrollment. So that means 70% of the school districts have our same story, I think. You know, so when I was talking to Representative Bourne last week, he said, well, it really still depends on, he's been meeting with individual school districts, and he still thinks that's not exactly 100% in alignment, but most are saying the same story. Too. So, and it really depends on, what's their aid level? Are they positively, like in a tertiary aid? If they're positive in the aid area there, which we are, this is our story. So you gotta look at the primary, secondary, and tertiary aid, and that's a big part of what happens to each school district too. And that gets complicated, so that's more than we're gonna do. So,
Well, thank you, Ryan.
Ryan, I appreciate what you're doing.
Okay, possible future action items? Any unfinished business? New business, we have resolution 1819-195, approval of co-curricular volunteer contracts for baseball, track, and trap shooting.
So,
Motion by Joe, second by Ron.
lots of them,
Hmm?
many of them,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Anybody have any questions on?
are we still sending thank you letters from the board when they're volunteering and stuff? I thought we had discussed that when we did that before.
Yeah, they want to do?
Okay.
Yeah. Joe?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 7-0. Resolution 1819-196, approval to hire Andrew Whiting, limit as a special education at the middle school. Any motion?
I'll move.
In order? Second by Ron. Okay, Bob or Karen?
Is Carrie here?
Nope. No.
Okay, we were looking for a paraprofessional to round out the staffing needs of this program. And not available, but a new teacher had applied, and we found value in hiring this teacher and splitting the program up into two rooms. And so we're hiring Mr. Whiting to man the other room. And the program has kind of been in transition since, I would say, the January, and we are looking and discussing other ideas on how to structure this program and staff this program moving into the future. So we look at this as a transitionary hire for this program to get us through the end of the year.
I'll add to it that everybody's been very impressed with Mr. Whiting. He's been a great asset to the special education department in a small amount of time. And the goal is to try to bring some stability to the middle school. So we have a staff member that's been on medical leave, and it's just been tough trying to find the right fit for the position. So we're fortunate. I think we're in a good spot right now by adding him to the mix.
Any questions on this approval to hire? Nor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried 7-0. The old business. Now, before I administer oath of office, I'd just like to thank Ron for your year of service on here. You did an outstanding job. You caught on quickly. Usually it takes a new board member 3 years, the term. But you were very helpful in your presentation on the board. So I appreciate what you've done in the past year. I'm just sorry it's not a little longer.
Thanks, appreciate it.
So thank you again for your time and your effort. I know helped out a lot at the high school as far as the building project as to catching things that need to be corrected and fixed, and just really appreciate all that you've done in this past year. Thanks, John. So, Mr. Dornfeld
Aye.
and Mr. Kemp, would you please come forward up here? Come along front here, Lord. So if you'd please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Mark Dornfeld,
I, Tom Kemp,
having been elected to the office of the Mayville School Board of Education,
having been elected to the office of School Board of Education in the school district,
have been elected to the Mayville School Board of Education,
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof,
and have not yet entered the duties thereof,
have not entered the duties yet,
swear or affirm
swear or affirm
swear or affirm,
I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and faithful charge of the duties
of said office
of said office
said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
and best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Help my God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Right back at you, buddy.
Bob? So you need to sign
Okay.
and give it to our clerk.
I just made 2 copies so they could keep one in it, keep one in file.
Sure.
Any additional citizen comments? Announcements? If not, I need a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.85. Parent 1 and Parent C to consider employment, promotion, compensation, and performance evaluation data of various district administrators, professional staff, and support staff over which the board has jurisdiction or exercises responsibilities. The board will be discussing professional staff preliminary notices of non-renewal for the 2019-2020 school year and employee benefits.
So moved.
Second.
Joe, seconded by Nick. Joe?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0. All right, we will meet in the back.
Got it.